All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for attending this webinar, Bobcast Live, Episode 2. We're going to talk about using Facebook and Instagram to boost your event attendance and also to engage with your audience for all of your NYU alumni clubs. So I will start to share my content, and then I will come back to this screen at the end to answer any questions that have come up along the way. So, all right, now I'm sharing my screen. So again, the title of this presentation is, sorry about that. The title of this presentation is Engaging with Your Audience on Facebook and Instagram. My name is Michael Wright, and I am a program manager for learning and development here at Facebook. And I also obviously am an NYU alumnus. I went to the Tisch School of the Arts. I studied film and television. I graduated in 2009, and I've been at Facebook for about the past 4 years. So the agenda for what we're going to cover today, all of this will happen over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So it's going to be very, very short, right to the point, and I'm sure there will be a few questions that'll come up along the way. So just again, please type your questions into the chat box, and I will come back to those at the very end. So first, we're going to cover why care about Facebook and Instagram. Second, we're going to cover just a basic overview of using Facebook and Instagram pages. And then we're going to talk about building your presence, both through organic and ads on Facebook. Then we're going to cover creating and managing events on Facebook. Finally, we're going to talk about tips for increasing engagement and best practices. And then we'll end with a Q&A. So anything that you have typed into the chat window during this presentation, we will cover at the very end. So our mission at Facebook is to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. As I just wanted to caveat that this presentation is, I am representing just a club leader. I was one of the co-founders of NYU Alumni in Silicon Valley. I am not representing Facebook, the company. But I wanted to start with a little bit about Facebook's mission so that you understand why we're building these tools and how well they actually align to what we're trying to do with the NYU alumni community. So why you should care about Facebook and Instagram. There are 2.2 billion people that connect to Facebook each month. And I don't know exactly what the stat is for how many what percentage of NYU alumni are on Facebook and Instagram, but as you can see, that is a large population. Of Instagram, it's about 800 million people connect on Instagram each month. So some of the key features, again, this is not representing all of what Facebook's capable of doing or our value prop, but just as an alumni club leader, I could tell you the ways that I've used Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, the key features are direct messaging. So people are actually able to engage directly with any club admin just simply by hitting that message button right on the page. Facebook is also really great for creating and managing events. Facebook also allows you to have a group, and as a page, you could actually be a page moderator within that group. So if you wanted to have discussions, you wanted people to be able to just engage socially, you could create a complementary group to your Facebook page. And finally, you can also tag photos and videos on Facebook. And specifically, what's really cool about this is not only can you post your photos from your events, but you can also tag people in those photos, which then will help get additional organic attention for your page. And so in general, I'd say that Facebook is best for organizing events around your club. Instagram is a little bit different. So oftentimes, if you don't have an Instagram account, first of all, create one. But it's very much visual. It's a very visual media. So instead of posting, words and events, it's really just going to be like the visual representation of your club. So really, some of the key features for Instagram are you can still do direct messaging. The person just has to click on that message button again when looking at your page. And then also, this is the best platform for posting photos and videos of your events and making sure that you're getting sustained engagement. Instagram is extremely popular for younger people, especially. And so it's really great to connect with recent alumni using Instagram. And Instagram is really best for brand building. So as you're building out your reputation for your club, this is a really great way to manage your reputation visually. So first, we're really going to talk mostly about Facebook because this is how you're going to organize events and manage your events through these tools. So first, we'll talk about building your presence on Facebook because it all starts with having a Facebook page. So I'm just going to go back a slide and I'll show you on the left. Here is the actual Facebook page for the NYU Alumni in Silicon Valley chapter. And after you create that page, then you can go scroll down and hit that invite friends button that you see right there. You can also promote your page using Facebook advertising. And this is going to be really important because while it's great to get as much organic reach as possible with friends inviting friends, you still want to be able to widely publicize your club. So I recommend connecting with your staff partner because we actually do have budget for things like Facebook promotion. And again, this isn't for me to sell you on Facebook advertising, but rather as a club leader myself, having been through this process, I could tell you we got a lot more traction once we did a little bit of sponsoring our posts and our content. So once you hit that promote button, it'll take you to this page where you have to choose your objective. As you can see here, there are lots of objectives. You could boost events if you've created any events on your page. I'm just going to call out a few of the more common ones. You can promote your page, and this is the one that I'm going to talk about right now. So this is when your page is brand new and you want to, you basically want to just get more followers. You would hit that promote your page. So next, you're going to define your audience. So once you choose your objective, then you have to go through the workflow to essentially choose your audience. I recommend always hitting the button of people you choose through targeting, and you see that at the bottom of that screenshot right there. Because this allows you to define different attributes. And so you don't want to blast your ad to every single person in the Bay Area, for example, or every single person in New York City if your club is based in New York. You really want to be able to narrow it just to people who are alums of NYU and or care about NYU. So definitely make sure that you edit your attributes. So some of the common targeting attributes you can edit are age and gender. That's a pretty obvious one. And then interests and behaviors. And interests and behaviors is really where you're going to get very specific about what your club is, like who your club is for. So if, for example, you are looking to reach out to LGBT members of the NYU alumni community because it's an LGBT alumni club, then you would definitely want to include LGBT community as an interest-based, as an interest that you would be able to target. For all of your clubs, I highly recommend you include people who have expressed interest in New York University and or have graduated from New York University. Those are actually two different targeting options. If you wanted your page to be open to people who have an affinity for NYU for whatever reason, or they haven't listed NYU as their school that they've graduated from, then you would list it as an interest rather than as something that they've listed publicly in their profile as they've graduated from that school. Okay, cool. So that is going through some of the targeting options. It's pretty self-explanatory to finish your promotion. You just have to go down through that workflow and you'll set your budget, you'll set your time frame, and then you'll just hit the promote button. So it's all pretty straightforward. Next, I'm going to touch on very briefly creating an event on Facebook. So first, when you're going to create an event, all you have to do is tap the events tab on your page. So again, this is the home page for your event. Tap the events bar right there. And then right there, there's a button that says create event. So once you create the event, it's pretty simple and straightforward. You're going to want to share that event because just creating it is sometimes not enough to get a lot of organic attention. So you're going to tap share. And I recommend that after you create an event, you write a post about that event and you post it right on the page. This will give people a notification if they're following your page that you have posted something, and it will also give you an opportunity to explain the event a little bit more in a post. There are also two different things you can do. Not only can you write a post that'll go on your page to page followers, which is, as you see up here, the default option, or if you tap on that, you can tap to change the audience and you can actually post it directly to your timeline as well. So as a club leader, you're likely to have a lot of friends that are a part of your club. And so it's great for you to not only share it on the page, but then also share it with a personal note on your own timeline as well. And of course, make sure to tag friends because one of the best ways to get organic attention is for someone to see a notification pop up on their Facebook that you've tagged them in a post. Okay, so moving right along, tips for increasing engagement. So these are some general best practices that you should really try to abide by for all of your events and everything you do on Facebook. First of all, keep your staff partner in the loop. My staff partner, Jenny Peterson, is on the line. Thank you so much for supporting me, Jenny, in this webinar. And one of the reasons why it's important to keep your staff partner in the loop is because they actually are helping out with a lot of this organization as well. And you don't want to duplicate efforts by creating two events for the same thing. Or, she might be like actually putting out personal posts as well and have different messaging that you're putting out. So just make sure that you're keeping your staff partner in the loop very closely. Your staff partner also has direct connections to the NYU Communications Department. So if there's anything that you need to run by the NYU Alumni Office or the Communications Department, your staff partner is really your first line right there. They also have access to, as I mentioned, some budget for these events. And so if you wanted to promote some of these events by using Facebook advertising, for example, your staff partner would be able to get you that budget. The next bullet is to really encourage organic sharing peer-to-peer. I mentioned, promoting your page quite a bit as well and posting to your page directly. But remember that Facebook really is a platform for connecting peers. And so you want to encourage members to share out your events, tag their friends. After they attend your event, make sure that they're posting photos of the event, tagging the page, and also tagging their friends. The third bullet would be to seek budget for page and event promotion. As mentioned, your staff partner can help you do this. And if you are going to do any sort of event promotion, make sure that you use those targeting options to reach the right people with the right message. Now, this is getting a little bit advanced, but as you saw, there is the possibility to do age and gender targeting. If you have a alumni page that's specific to an age group like recent alumni, for example, that's when that might be an obvious use case for that. But even if you have a page for NYU alumni in Silicon Valley, for example, we're right now too small of a club to do a whole lot of audience segmentation, but that is definitely an advanced strategy, especially if you operate a very broad club. In the New York area, for example, with a lot of members, you may want to have different events and different messaging for people who are older, people who attended a different college, people who have different interests. So if you have like an arts event coming up, you might want to target people who have expressed interest in theater, the arts, movies, etc. The next bullet would be to post photos and videos from your event and tag people. I mentioned that already, and encourage the people who've attended your events to post and tag as well. Request that people tag the page when sharing pictures. I mentioned this already, but when you create a page, your page then becomes a persona on Facebook, and people can tag that page, and that'll drive more organic attention to your page. You want to make sure that you reshare on your page leading up to the event. Any sort of you want to make sure that you reshare the event on your page so that it keeps it top of mind for people. Oftentimes people may say they express interest in an event and then they'll kind of forget about it until the Facebook notification pops up like, you have an event coming up. Unfortunately, that notification only happens really close to that event time. It doesn't send people a reminder 1 week in advance. So let's say you create an event 1 month before the event actually occurs. You definitely want to set up a reminder schedule so that you're reposting that about a week before that event actually happens. And then finally, there is a new resource that I just learned about called Viral Violets. And you should, as soon as possible, register on this site and then share your event. You can actually create a link from Facebook and share that event link on the Viral Violets page, which is nyuviralviolets.socialtoaster.com. And what this site is essentially, it allows people who are very gung-ho about helping to promote and support NYU alumni initiatives. They can actually get points for sharing events and things that are posted on this site within their own social networks. So it's a really great way to get additional organic reach for your events. And now I'm going to pause. That was a lot of information, so I'm going to go back to the chat and see if there were any questions that came up. So please bear with me. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my content and I'm going to now look at the chat. Okay, excellent. So Erica had a question. I think that younger people are not Facebook users. Do you agree? Wouldn't LinkedIn be a great tool as well? Erica, you are absolutely correct that LinkedIn is a fantastic tool to use in conjunction with Facebook and Instagram. As I currently work at Facebook, I could not speak as much in detail to a LinkedIn strategy. The one thing is I somewhat disagree that Facebook is really more for older people. Certainly, Facebook is the #1 social media platform, and I think that by and large, Facebook and Instagram, while there's a lot of attention on both platforms from every age demographic, I think that the kind of attention is different. So as mentioned, Facebook really is more about sharing, organizing events, and when you have ideas to share, things to say, that's when you'd go to Facebook. Whereas if you're just sharing photos and videos and it's a little bit more lightweight and you're really building more of a brand identity, then you would use Instagram. So I definitely think that there's value in using both platforms. But as far as managing events, Facebook would really be a great place to do that. And you can certainly create an event on Facebook and then cross-share it on LinkedIn as well. So I hope that that helped address your question. Actually, that was the only question. So I'll pause for just a moment and see if anything else comes up. But if not, then it was really great speaking to all of you, and I will stop the recording very soon. There is one more question from Jenny before I stop the recording. How can we encourage more back and forth conversation between alumni and the club's Facebook pages? So that's a great question. I'd say that one of the more underutilized tools on Facebook would be groups. And in Silicon Valley, we actually have both a Facebook page and a complementary group where people can go and post about anything that they want to, but largely it's used for like upcoming social engagements, or if someone has like a big talk coming up and they want support from the alumni community, that's where they would share that. So I'd say that like managing a group is really probably the best way to keep that conversation going with all of the members in between your events that you're hosting. That's a really great question. Thank you, Jenny. So I think that's it for now. I'm going to now stop the recording, and if you have any follow-up questions, you should. I believe we're going to send a follow-up that will have some sort of email address where you can actually send emails directly to the alumni community and the staff partners, and then they can funnel it to me, and I'll be able to answer them for you as well. So just make sure to stay in contact with your staff partner. And thank you very much for attending.